Hey guys, welcome back to My Unpopular Opinion. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I have a special video where I'm going to be talking about the legendary and iconic Tyra Banks, who is one of the most well-known black supermodels and one of the most successful supermodels, period, in the world. Tyra Banks took the modeling world by storm in 1991 when she had the opportunity to leave her hometown of Inglewood, California, and go to Europe, where she booked 25 shows for that Paris Fashion Week. Since then, Tyra Banks has been on the cover of every high fashion magazine you can think of, from Elle to Vogue. Tyra has also walked the runway for some of the most famous designers in the entire world. Her career continued to skyrocket. She got endorsements out of this world, as well as many makeup campaigns. And Tyra then redefined what it meant to be a supermodel. The sky became the limit for Tyra's career. She went on to star in movies. In 1997, Tyra Banks was the first African American woman to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. She created America's Next Top Model, which became the first modeling competition show in the world, and now many have come after. Tyra also went on to have her very own daytime television show, which was a smash hit, and actually it was Tyra's choice to later leave the show because she wanted to pursue other things in her career. It became very clear that Tyra Banks was a young, ambitious woman, and she was willing to do whatever it took to make sure that her modeling career skyrocketed and that she took modeling and turned it into something that was larger than life. And that was what was so incredible about Tyra and what set her aside from other models. Fast forwarding to modern times, Tyra Banks is now receiving a ton of backlash and what some would even call hate or disrespect from old clips of America's Next Top Model resurfacing. Some are saying that they were body shaming on the show, that they were manipulating, and that they were even mistreating some of the girls, allegedly. In the midst of Tyra being blamed and taking the blame for all of the backlash that she has been receiving, a lot of the people that she has employed and given opportunities to, or even some would say co-workers, has thrown Tyra under the bus as well in the meantime. Not only has her former judges and co-hosts thrown her under the bus for the backlash, but former models and contestants from the show that we wouldn't even know of has also come out and talked about Tyra Banks in a negative and derogatory way. There is a YouTuber by the name of Jessica. She is a professional photographer and she has a great personality, very hilarious. She reviews a lot of the old episodes of America's Next Top Model, but it seems as though she points out all the negative things that were happening on the show. Now, when it comes to Jessica, I'm torn because I love her channel and I love her personality, but something doesn't sit right with me about the tone that she uses when referring to Tyra Banks, a black woman who has worked so hard and given so many people opportunities. It's hard for me to support her in that. I will never support anyone bashing a black woman who has worked hard from the bottom up. Now, Tyra takes all the blame for everything that happened on America's Next Top Model and all the things that were acceptable back at that time that are no longer acceptable. She tends to take the blame for it all. And in my personal opinion, which may be unpopular, I don't believe that Tyra should take the blame for everything that happened on that show. For one, Tyra was a supermodel. She was the name of the show and the face of the show. But at the end of the day, there were producers and there were other people in charge from, behind the scenes as well as the network that were deciding things that would happen on the show. At the end of the day, it was a reality show that was a competition, and it's still entertainment and television. And so although Tyra was really helping people, giving people exposure and teaching them how to model, she was not in charge of everything that would happen on the show. But everyone seems to put all the blame on Tyra. I think it's extremely important to note that Tyra Banks started modeling in the early 1990s as a black woman. I don't think people understand how monumental that is and how hard that was to pop and become as successful as Tyra has become as a black woman in that time. She has been criticized. She's been called fat when she was skinny. She's been talked about as far as her complexion, her face structure, her facial features, her forehead, her hair texture. Everything has been criticized criticized about Tyra, and she still pushed through and became a supermodel. She talks about all the pain that she endured trying to reach success as a model, all the no's that she's been given, and all the times where she has just been downright dogged out in this industry. So I think when Tyra Banks started America's Next Top Model and she wanted to mentor and change and shake up the modeling industry, she wanted to teach them what it would really be like to be in the modeling world, and what it would be like is to be cutthroat. So if they were talking about weight on the show, that is a realistic thing that happens in the modeling world. If they're talking about complexion, if they're talking about your look, if they're talking about everything about you, you're going to be criticized in the modeling or entertainment business because it's all about how you look as a model. That's what you make the money off of. So it may have seemed harsh to some, but in my world, I believe that Tyra was just trying to prepare them for what it will be like to be a model. All the things that she was teaching them, she has also had to endure in the industry. Winnie Harlow is one of the contestants from America's Next Top Model. A few years ago, she did an interview with Andy Cohen on Watch What Happens Live, and she pretty much said that Tyra Banks and the America's Next Top Model show did nothing for her career, and that social media is what boosted her career. Tyra Banks went on Watch What Happens Live after that, and she was asked by Andy Cohen what she felt about Winnie's statement. And Tyra answered in a very classy way and just said that no one would know who Winnie Harlow was had Tyra not discovered her via Instagram. Now, Tyra discovered her on Instagram that season of America's Next Top Model because she wanted to have more inclusivity. She saw that Winnie had vitiligo, and she felt like she was a beautiful girl who could showcase her beauty even with having the skin condition, and show others with the skin condition that you can be beautiful, you can thrive, and you can still be high fashion, as Tyra was redefining what fashion and beauty was in the modeling industry. Eva Marcille, who was the winner of her season of America's Next Top Model, also came out and defended Tyra against the statement that Winnie Harlow made. Eva made it very clear that none of us would know who any of them were had it not been for Tyra. Eva has been pretty successful in her career after America's Next Top Model. She's been on magazines. She's been acting a lot since that time. So she has not had the bad experience that other people are claiming that they had, and Eva seems to be extremely grateful for Tyra. Now, at one point in time, Tyra was actually managing her career, and Eva was a protege of Tyra's, so she learned a lot, and she took what Tyra taught her and she made the best of it in her career, and she's not complaining about it. Janice Dickinson, also known as the world's first supermodel, was one of the judges on America's Next Top Model. Now, there came a time where the decision was made for Janice to no longer be on the show, and she was allegedly fired from the show. When Janice was fired from the show, she became extremely bitter and erratic, in my opinion, and she decided to go on a tirade and bash Tyra Banks and blame Tyra for all these different things. Janice made comments like Tyra Banks is soulless and a Wintour fake, and that the show was rigged, allegedly, and according to Janice Dickinson. After Janice became sober, she went on the Oprah Winfrey Network and was interviewed on their series of Where Are They Now? Janice recanted her terrible statements about Tyra, and she said that Tyra actually revived her career and gave her a successful career in television after her career had been kind of dead for a while, since she had been modeling for so long. She also talked about the fact that everything she said about Tyra was based on her being upset and bitter, like I said.
I really apologize to you, Tyra, for the things I might have said to you, because she is a great lady, and thanks to her, I got a very successful career on television.
So as you can see, Tyra Banks actually helped Janice Dickinson and was blamed and got a lot of backlash after she decided to let Janice go. But I'm assuming, in my opinion, she let Janice go because she was not functioning in a sober way while she was on the show. So Tyra did her two favors. She gave her a job and revived her career, and she also allowed her to go take care of herself when she was unwell, allegedly. Next up is the extremely ungrateful J. Manuel, also known as Mr. J, who was the creative director, quote unquote, on America's Next Top Model, the show. So J. Manuel wrote a book called The Meltdown, and it's supposedly a fictional book loosely based on his experiences with Tyra Banks on America's Next Top Model. So while Jay was promoting the book, he decided to do a press tour talking about Tyra Banks and saying just nasty things about her, pretty much saying that she wasn't a nice person, that she was not nice on the cast, and that there were times where she was not speaking to him. And the reason she wasn't speaking to him was because after so many seasons, he decided season 8, according to him, that he didn't want to be on the show anymore. He wanted to move forward and be an E correspondent for E News, and that Tyra was not interested in him doing that, and she wasn't happy about him doing it, and that the network wasn't happy either, and that the network threatened him, according to him, allegedly threatened him, that he would never be able to work for the network again. Now, I do believe the network situation. I do believe the network probably held that leverage because at the end of the day, if one of their highest watched shows is doing well, they want to retain the members and the cast that make the show successful or that add whatever they add to the show. So they will do that to keep their numbers in its business. I don't believe that Tyra pressured too much. I do think she probably gave her opinion and was disappointed because they were friends, and she probably felt like, if we're friends and you're making money and I gave you this opportunity, why would you be trying to back out at this time? Which, at the end of the day, that was her prerogative to feel that way. We don't even know if she really did say that or say anything to him. This is all according to Jay.
I walked on the set to shoot casting. It was just Miss J, her, and me, and she wouldn't talk to me unless the cameras were rolling. And you try and take her here early because I just want to walk right by. Like, did not talk to me. And I was like, wait, maybe she just didn't hear. I thought there's no way she ignored me. I thought, because she...
So as you can see, Jay went on his press tour and had no issue with airing out Tyra and alleging that she was not a nice friend, not a nice boss, and that everything that happened on that show that the people are disagreeing with now was all Tyra's fault. Now, I find that to be extremely convenient. In my personal opinion, I think that Jay has taken this opportunity because Tyra is now being bashed on the internet and blamed for everything, and so this is his opportunity to clear his name and push the narrative with the others and make it seem like he had nothing to do with anything as the creative director. He claims that the episode where they switched races, that had nothing to do with him and that he didn't want to do it, but he did it anyway. I can't help but think that this is strategic on Jay's part. He probably was still bitter towards Tyra the same way Janice Dickinson was bitter towards Tyra after his removal, and decided, since people are hating on Tyra, let me take this opportunity and let me write a book and also promote my book to make some money. Because let's be very clear, after America's Next Top Model, we really didn't hear anything about Jay Manuel or anything that he was doing. We didn't get to see. So it's very clear that he was waiting on a moment to bash Tyra, in my opinion. It's very clear that Tyra's feelings were hurt towards Jay, and so if she was not speaking to him on set, it was because of that very reason. If someone feels like they stuck their neck out for you and giving you opportunities and you're not having their back, as a friend, they have a right to feel some kind of way. I do want to add in that Mrs. J, as you can see, the diva runway extraordinaire as they call him, he has been loyal to Tyra and has not come out and bashed Tyra, even in the midst of America's Next Top Model and Tyra getting the backlash for some of the cheeky things that happened back in the day on that show. Even though it was a different time as well, he still has supported Tyra and had Tyra's back. I think he probably recognizes, along with a lot of the other people, such as Nigel Barker, that Tyra stuck her neck out and gave these people opportunities that they would have never had before, and that they didn't have had she not brought them into the fold. We did not really know who a Miss J was. Miss J was teaching runway, but we didn't really know who that was until America's Next Top Model. We didn't know who Mr. J was. He may have been working behind the scenes as a correspondent or something like that, but we didn't know until Tyra brought you to the forefront. Janice Dickinson's career was failing and old and stale. Tyra revived her career. That would have never happened had she not invited her to America's Next Top Model. We wouldn't know who Kenya was. We wouldn't know who Yaya DaCosta was. We wouldn't know who Eva Marcille was. And we definitely wouldn't have known who Winnie Harlow was had it not been for Tyra Banks and America's Next Top Model. Since all the backlash, Tyra has been extremely apologetic on multiple occasions, taking full responsibility for everything on the show, even though she did not make all the decisions. But Tyra has continued to take responsibility, and she's taken a little bit of a step back from the public eye recently, I think because of all the backlash and hate, and she's trying to figure out where to go. Honestly, I also believe that Tyra is hurt because I don't think her intentions were to ever hurt anybody. I believe that Tyra's intentions were completely to help people in the modeling industry and bring awareness to different types of beauty. Tyra single-handedly broke the barrier and mold for the beauty industry with America's Next Top Model. She brought in models that were short. She brought in models that were considered overweight. She brought in models with skin conditions. She brought in male models. She brought in models with hearing problems. Tyra Banks shared her spotlight and her career with so many people just to shed a light on them. A lot of these people, as I stated before, none of us would have known had it not been for Tyra. I think that they need to thank her instead of resenting her. She needs to get more of a thanks. And I find it disheartening to see on a show where the black woman is the lead and the most successful out of everyone on the show. Ironically, when everything goes south, the black woman has to take responsibility for everything and everyone. And that's not okay. Once again, a black woman in media is being portrayed a certain way, being portrayed as a not nice person, and being blamed for every negative thing. That's not okay to me. So guys, I still respect Tyra Banks as the legend and icon, the pioneer, the successful black woman from Inglewood, California that made something of herself, that was made fun of and fought her way through the industry to become successful, the first of her kind, the first to do so many things. She deserves so much respect and she deserves her flowers while she's still here. So that sums up this video. Guys, let me know down in the comments what you think about this video, what you think about America's Next Top Model and Tyra Banks herself. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you love my commentary, as well as turning your post notifications on. Bye bye.